Hey guys, welcome to week 12. This is our check-in video, week 12. We're talking about our final project, which we kind of got into last week. And we're going to be continuing on with this week with conferences that I started yesterday. And so far, so good. So I'm going to make this as quick a video as possible tonight. I don't have too much to add from what you guys did last week. It looks like many of us are right on track with our topics. Some of the topics that we looked at, a couple of you were interested in the body shaming, and I loved how both of you were looking at male or female body shaming and weren't sure where you're going. So if you know who you are, and you might want to reach out to each other. You might have resources you can share here. We had some others looking at masculinity, people using the political situation that we have going on right now, looking at Donald Trump's political ads and the messages that they want to respond to that he's sending. Joyce, you're picking up on a theme that you've followed through from project number 1 with the technology as a necessity, as your message that you're responding to. You don't think it's as much a necessity as we like to view it as. We have someone looking at stereotypes of Hawaii and Hawaiians, right? Ethnic Hawaiians. Someone looking at infomercials, and I'm going to touch on some of this a little bit later. The Somalian Civil War, and here's a nice specific one, the Black Lives Matter campaign. So a lot of us having an idea of where we want to go with this. Most of us are on the right track. Some of you I'm going to be talking with during conferences this week where your message that you're wanting to respond to is maybe too broad or too specific. So we'll work on figuring that out during conferences, but I'm glad everyone at least has a starting point. And I'm really pleased that every single one of you has chosen a topic that you seem really passionate about. So I would expect that then this final project is going to be that much more enjoyable for you. So that's my wrap up of last week. Let me talk about the research a little bit that you guys did for your blog. Everyone seemed to do well at finding different resources here, whether they be academic or pop culture, BuzzFeed listicles and things like that. Anything is pretty much open game. Is that a right phrase? I don't know. Anything is open for this possibility of the research here. You're free to also use it however you want, whether as inspiration for your own project, an approach you want to take to your subject that you've chosen, or actual content in your project. So say that you are going to do a Facebook page. You might take something you researched and link to it in your Facebook page, post a picture, a meme, something, okay? You might also want to use them as examples of the rhetorical approaches that they've taken. You're going to do some of this with your assignments this week, actually, looking at how a certain thing that you've researched has responded to their media message in a certain way, and whether you think they did it effectively or not effectively. You can look at something you liked on that particular source you researched, something you want to avoid doing. So there's many ways to think of this research, not so much as evidence to back up a claim anymore, because we're doing a very different project here. And if you still aren't clear on what you're doing, please do go to the this would be week 10, I think, week 10, 11 page that has the link to the project topic. There's a word for that. The project prompt, right? So go there, look it up, and make sure you know what we're doing, because this is not an essay now. We're doing something very different, and it's much more open-ended in this project. So for this week, now that we've all got some idea of what we want to research, we're going to be turning to thinking about audience and the text that you're going to generate that will become your media activism campaign type thing. So first thing we're doing actually is conferences. So again, I talked with a couple of you yesterday. Everyone else is getting theirs done tomorrow and Thursday. So what you're doing for that, just a reminder, is the proposal questions that I posted with the week 12 page. You are going and just answering the questions, not in any fancy essay form, just straight up answer them. This will help me to get an idea of what you want to do, and the earlier you send it to me, the better off you would be, because then we don't have to spend 5 minutes of tell me what you're planning to do. But what we're going to be focusing on during the conferences, if you haven't done yours yet, is how you're going to, or what kind of text you're going to create for this media activism thing. So if you recall, the assignment says 2 to 3 texts, and again, that can be a Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube videos. You can create a series of memes or something, anything you want, pretty much. But we will hammer that out during conferences, give you somewhere to start. And once the conference is complete and you have some idea of how you're going to be going about this, your blog is going to ask you to think even more about the types of text you'll make, where you will come up with a list of 5 different options, potential options. So I won't hold you to any of these. If you get hit with brilliant inspiration one day and it's not one of your 5, you're free to do that. But I want you to be thinking about them this week. So again, that can be any kind of anything. An info booklet, pamphlets, Instagram, Facebook account, Twitter, a listicle for BuzzFeed or something like that. But we'll be hammering those out this week on the blog assignment. You can look at some resources on the blog post page to kind of get an idea of different options that you might have. But I want you to be as specific as possible with your 5 options. So don't just tell me you're going to do an Instagram page. Tell me what kind of pictures you might put on that Instagram page. How you, even if you can think of as far ahead as how you might order them. A Facebook account with posts about what, right? It's not going to be completely random posts. It's going to be focused to whatever your purpose is. Your video then this week is going to get you to look at other people's texts that they've produced, their media campaigns, and analyze audience with them. So thinking about the way that they changed their text or they created their text for a specific audience. I noticed a lot of the responses to in the videos last week where this media campaign was aimed at a general audience. Some of you were able to narrow it down to a gender, but if you think about even ads that seem to want to get a wide audience, right? So, for example, ASPCA commercials are always my favorite to talk about. The sad puppies and kitties, they're always there, right? Sad, they're injured, they look like they've been starved, but they do different things, like they might have a different song playing in the background, right? What does Sarah McLachlan's Arms of the Angels have going for it, as opposed to I've heard one, I don't know who the artist is, but In the Bleak Midwinter, right? How are those doing different things to reach a different audience? Even better, you can think of the St. Jude commercials that usually come on during Thanksgiving time. They always have one of the St. Jude children's patients, and then usually a celebrity with them. And the 2 that I can recall are, there's Robin Williams in one and Jennifer Aniston in another. Same idea, but what might it be doing to have Robin Williams, known for his comedy and kind of lack of seriousness, with Jennifer Aniston in a different one? What is she trying to do or what are they trying to do with her as opposed to what they're trying to do with Robin Williams, right? They'd be trying to reach different audiences, maybe different genders, different interests, right? If you're a Friends fan, you're gonna like the Jennifer Aniston stuff. If you are a Robin Williams fan, you might like his better. But you're going to be looking kind of like what I just did, but looking at your media campaigns that you've already pulled some stuff from and see how they've adapted to a specific audience. So think about, are they aiming themselves at children? Could they also be aiming themselves at the children's parents? Because oftentimes the parents are the ones the kids are going to go to, right? And then you're going to be doing this with your own, the media message you're going to respond to with your own idea of how you might respond to it. Think about the audience that you want to be directing your message at. And if you can narrow down your audience, this is going to make it so much easier for you because it will make the project feel that much more manageable, where you aren't going to have to think of every detail of every person. So I encourage you to be more specific on the audience here. So that's what you're doing for the assignments this week. Next week we're going to be talking about how to get the most out of the text you're making. So this week we're narrowing down that the media message that you're focusing on, getting that figured out, and then we're going to start thinking about the text that we are going to create, because we only will have, are we down to 3 weeks after this week? Yeah, 3 more weeks after this week is over. Time is just gonna fly by. So I encourage you all to keep thinking about this. Bring your ideas to your conferences. I am getting really excited just in the 2 that I've already heard. I'm really excited to see what you all come up with, especially those that are more technologically inclined than even I am. Trust me, the WordPress page, it's about the extent of my fancy smancy technology stuff. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys do. I look forward to hearing from the rest of you in conferences this week. I believe everyone is doing either a Skype or a phone call that's left. So I look forward to speaking with all of you, and have a great week. See you next time.